In earlier chapter, we have studied about the pattern of inheritance which was explained to us by Gregor Mendel. In this chapter, we are going to learn about the molecular basis of genes. DNA has some qualities which is it can help in continuity of the existence of life, and so that the DNA must be chemically stable so that it can be easily passed on from one generation to another. Second, it also must have ability to express its characteristics when it replicates. It must provide all the features or characters which are required for change in order for prospective evolution. There were many experiments carried on to prove that DNA was actually the genetic material. First, it was believed that protein was genetic material, but then we will see in this chapter by various experiments that actually it was proved that genetic material is made up of DNA. Many experiments was carried out for identifying genetic material. Then Frederick Griffith came. He was a British physician who used bacterium called as Diplococcus pneumoniae, which was known to cause pneumonia in mammals. Now what Mr. Frederick Griffith did, he took two strains of bacteria. One was S type, which was smooth type. It has a capsule around it, a covering around it. Second was R type, also known as rough type, which was non-capsulated, or it showed absence of protective covering around it. Then first he took the S-type bacteria, injected in mice, observed it, the mice died. It showed that the S-type is virulent or is pathogenic and cause the mice to contract pneumonia. Secondly, he injected S-type bacteria into mice. The mice lived. That concluded that the R-type is avirulent or is non-pathogenic. It doesn't cause pneumonia into the mice. Then there was sudden changes made into the experiments. The living S-type bacteria was heated and the capsule got dissolved. That bacteria was injected into the mice. The mice lived. The question arises, how did the mice live? Then he said, let us do one more experiment. He took R-type bacteria, the previous one with the capsule. He did it, whatever the strain he got now, he added some bacteria in it and then injected it into the mice. What happened was of surprise. The mice died. What is the factor actually which caused the mice to die? That the S-type transferred something to R-type bacteria, which actually caused the R-type or the virulent type bacteria to cause pneumonia to the mice, and so the mice died. What was this something called? This something was later on named as DNA, which actually caused the R-type bacteria to turn pathogenic. So see how simple transfer of gene can change the characteristics of entire working process. Avery, McLeod and McCarthy experiment. After Griffith passed on his theory that DNA is a genetic material, Avery, McLeod and McCarthy came to prove the concrete solution that whether Griffith was right or not. So what they did, they took the S-type strain and they purified RNA, they purified DNA, RNA, proteins, and all other related materials. Then they took these materials and separately treated them with enzymes such as RNase, protease, DNase. All are having subscript A, that means they are enzymes. They mixed these materials which was derived from S-type, killed S-type strain and mixed it with R strain, as you can see here, and observe the results. When they mixed RNAs with that material, they got SNR strain, so that was no problem. Then when they mixed protease, again SNR strain was observed. But when they mixed DNA, this enzyme, then only R strain was obtained. That means something consumed the S strain in it. That was, so this proved that S type was consumed by DNAs, because whatever the medicine it works upon only the target area. So target of DNAs was DNA. So that's all what it did. When they treated it with lipase, again they got SNR strain. When treated with carboase, again they got SNR strain. So this provided the result that DNAs, or that material which is leading the strain to become pathogenic, is something which is passed on, and that something is known as DNA. Then came Hershey Chase. They used to work in the lab with viruses that actually infect bacteria, bacteriophages to be exact, which are actually composed of DNA and protein. Now they both were in quest that whether the genetic material was actually because of DNA or was it because of protein. So they carried on their experiment. Let us see about their experiment, what it was. Now what Hershey Chase did, they used isotopes of phosphorus, which was also called as P32, and isotope of sulfur, which was named as S35. They infected bacteriophages with both of these type of isotopes of phosphorus and sulfur. We already know that phosphorus is already present in DNA. DNA contains phosphorus and it doesn't have sulfur. So that means it doesn't have sulfur. Then protein has sulfur but it doesn't have phosphorus. So they thought, let us infect both of these type of viruses into bacteriophages and let us see how the infections occur. And what do we find after centrifugation? Once when the centrifugation was done, after the infection blending was done, then in centrifugation they got that in the centrifuge or the material which was left, the viruses had phosphorus or DNA and not sulfur. That means that sulfur or protein doesn't get transferred. It is not the one which is responsible for genetic material, but DNA is. After they carried on their experiment, they actually came into the concrete conclusion that protein did not enter the cell or infect the cell, but DNA did. And so from then onwards, DNA was known to be the genetic material. Now we know that genes are actually units of inheritance, and the gene is actually a segment of DNA which provides information. However, it also can do various functions. So our next scientist or the next persona you must know is Seymour Benzer, who introduced to us the terms cistron, muton and recon. In modern concept of gene, we have different segments of DNA which have different functions. First being cistron, which is also known as unit of function. It performs the function of carry, which is responsible for different traits or expression. For example, it can code for hairs, for anything which can be coded. It also has information about protein synthesis and when the DNA segment must code for protein synthesis. Basically, it can be of length 200 base pairs So it is such a long segment, and so that's why it can perform these various functions. Muton, also known as unit of mutation. Let us know what are their functions. Actually, now when the DNA was known to be the genetic material, its basic shape or the qualities or the characteristics or what performed the functions it performed was unknown. So, Frederick Miescher, what he did, he separated cellular substance from nuclei of first cells and named it as nuclein. Since this substance which he extract had acidic properties, so he named it as nucleic acid, and further on this nucleic acid was known to be of two types, deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid, DNA or RNA. Each DNA is known to have three parts: sugar, phosphate group and nitrogen bases. Sugar can be of two types, ribose sugar or deoxyribose sugar. RNA has ribose sugar, whereas DNA has deoxyribose sugar. You can see the figure displayed. Phosphate group, also the structure has been displayed. Let us know about what are nitrogen bases. Now, after Frederick Miescher, James Watson and Francis Crick, they actually proposed the DNA structure, which is whatever is known to us today based on results by studying X-ray crystallographic studies. And so thanks to them that we know the exact shape and dimension of DNA. According to Watson and Crick, what they proposed that the model of DNA is double helical structure, which is very super coiled around each other. As you can see in the diagram itself, it has sugar phosphate backbone attached, which is at the end of the rungs, and nitrogen bases which are complementary to each other, and it is aligned on the central axis, which is exactly passing from the center. So it looks like a twisted ladder or a helix. In structure of each strand, what they said is, as seen earlier, the rungs and the ladders are composed of nitrogen bases which are complementary to each other. That means the nucleotides which are attached, and the strand is aligned or goes into direction of 5' to 3' end, and it is in the front of the second strand is actually going in direction of 5' to 3' end. So they are both aligned in opposite direction, and this is what makes them anti-parallel from each other. Purine-pyrimidine ratio or complementary base pairing. We already know that purines will always bind to pyrimidines. That means A will always bind to hymine or uracil, and G will always bind to cytosine. However, adenine and guanine, who are known as purines, they are double ring structure, wherever hymine and cytosine are single ring structure. These were the ratio of binding of purines to pyrimidine is of exactly 1:1 ratio. That means how much adenine and guanine are present, that many only hymine and cytosine will be present. So that makes sense that they are equally present on the strands, and so the ratio becomes A, since they are equal, so A plus G upon T plus C becomes 1. This is the ratio which is also known as Chargaff's rule. In polarity of the strands, both the strands, as said earlier in antiparallel nature of the strand, that one strand goes in 5' to 3' direction, whereas the second strand goes in 3' to 5' or opposite. So it is antiparallel, and so this is the polarity of the strands in DNA, which makes them antiparallel to each other. The coiling of antiparallel strands occurs in right hand side direction, and this coiling of DNA strand in right hand side direction often creates grooves. Some are small and some are major. So the small grooves are known as minor grooves, whereas the major grooves or bigger grooves are known as major grooves. As you can see here, it is simplified or magnified here. You can see how minor grooves are smaller and major grooves, the distance between these turns are larger. Dimensions of DNA. Dimensions of DNA involves the various dimensions or the measures of DNA strands. See, the distance between this one complete turn makes the distance of 3.4 nanometer. It is so small in nanometer, not even in meter. There are 10 base pairs comprising in one spiral turn. So you can imagine how much smaller or supercoiled the structure is. The diameter of DNA molecule is in total of 2.37 or 2 point something nanometer in exact. So it is so complex structure.